All right. Welcome, welcome. We're going to talk about the 4 categories of disease. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. Darlene, are you seeing the slide?
Yes, sir, we are.
Okay, fantastic. Well, welcome to our Top Shelf Nutri Saturday training. Today, we're going to talk about the 4 categories of disease. And before we do, we just want to recognize that we're not here to diagnose, prescribe, or treat any particular disease. We encourage everybody to consult with their doctors before making any drastic diet or lifestyle changes, and that our products and formulas are designed to support the body's natural abilities to heal, maintain, and repair itself. And that's really what we're going to talk about. And we're going to talk about how we can categorize most diseases. Almost all chronic illness can be categorized into 4 main categories. And the reason for that is because they involve the same systems in the body and the same tissues. And so we can then use nutritional formulas that support those body systems and tissues, and we can help the body in its effort to overcome and eliminate those diseases. Now, we have to first identify the problem. And the problem is that we are seeing an alarming increase in the occurrence of disease. These are the percentage increases in these chronic illnesses just in the last 30 years. And so, diseases that most of the time didn't happen until people got quite old, now we're seeing them happening not only in middle-aged, but we're seeing it happening in young couples. We're seeing it happen in teenagers and even children. And so we've got some things wrong with our standard diet and what we're doing. And that's really what we're trying to do here at Top Shelf Nutri, is to educate people on things they can do so they don't become part of these statistics. The solution is not found in spending more money on healthcare. This slide is really just to show that we outspend the rest of the world on our healthcare, and that is not decreasing the occurrence of the chronic illness. In fact, we are outpacing the rest of the world in chronic illness, just as we are outpacing the world in spending. Now, there's a lot of talk about what's causing it, and we could sit here and go through all sorts of different things that the media is telling us, that the scientists are saying. They're blaming it on the herbicides and the pesticides. Others are blaming it on vaccinations, pollution, our lifestyles, too sedentary, our junk food. The list goes on and on as to what people are blaming for the cause. And I think it's worth spending some time on that. But more importantly today, it's what can we do about it, okay? We might not be able to stop the herbicide and pesticides. We might not be able to stop the pollution. We're not going to stop the occurrence and the use of vaccines in our world today. And frankly, you're not going to stop the snack food industry, et cetera, et cetera. So what can we do? And we're going to go into this. We're going to try and bring down inflammation. We're going to try and support digestion, and we're going to make sure that we're getting all of the known essential nutrients. Because we as much as we might try to make better choices in our food, we can't always control what's being brought to us at a restaurant, or what's being served to us by somebody else, or what's being made available in the grocery stores. What we have access to is what we have access to. And we might not be able to live a perfectly clean life when it comes to these things. And so we have to make some choices of what can we do despite the fact that we're not in complete control of everything. In 1990, 20% of adults suffered from chronic illness. Today, more than 60% of adults, and here's one, over 40% of youth are suffering from chronic illness. That's the new result that just came out last week. Folks, this is a trend of us getting more and more sick, and you're seeing things on the front of magazines, right? High blood pressure, diabetes, arthritis, Alzheimer's. And what is the silent killer behind all this? It's inflammation. Inflammation triggers heart attacks, cancer, Alzheimer's, and other diseases. And so Harvard said that research is showing that chronic inflammation may be the common factor in these many of diseases. And according to John Hopkins, that inflammation has been linked to all of these diseases and more. Okay. So if inflammation is the issue, one question we can ask is why? Well, because the food we're eating is inflammatory. Okay. These foods that are processed, the way they process them, the preservatives that are used, the way they're grown in agriculture, everything about it is more inflammatory than it used to be. So we have to focus on what we can do to bring down the inflammation. Above the top picture there is a healthy intestinal lining with all these villi, kind of like carpet fibers, protecting the inside of our intestines. Over time, with the American diet, that bottom picture is what happens to those villi. They break off, they become damaged, they swell, and then they pinch off circulation to the ones next to them. And it creates little gaps, as you can see in the artistic rendering here, where unprocessed, digested, or even harmful things find their way through these villi and into the bloodstream. And this is triggering what's called autoimmune diseases. And we're all involved with those. Those are very, very correlated to inflammation. As inflammation goes up, autoimmune responses escalate as well. So with Top Shelf Nutra, our strategy is to look at what have some of the longest lived cultures in the world, populations where they have more centenarians than any other population in the world. What do they have naturally in their diet? We're looking at cultures that have the lowest occurrence of diseases. What are they doing in their lifestyles and their diets to do this? And focusing on how can we incorporate that into our daily routines, where we can get these natural sources of antioxidants, anti-inflammatories, phenolic compounds, detoxifying nutrients, as well as all the essential nutrients like vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and essential fatty acids. And so we focus on, whoops, I went too fast. We focus on some powerful superfoods that we import from Fiji. These are heirloom roots that were discovered in the jungle. They're different from any other ginger or turmeric you'll find on the market. And we found that these help to bring down inflammation. And as I said, as we bring down inflammation, we bring down chronic illness. Also, the power of the muscadine. If you're not familiar with this superfood, it's something you should take a look at. It's everything that any other superfood is and more. And so we have wonderful access to the power of the muscadine. We take these and other compounds and put them together in products that support the body's ability to fight off chronic illness. And what we've been able to do is to identify that almost all chronic illness finds itself in 4 main categories. Those categories being hard tissue disorders, soft tissue disorders, blood sugar disorders, and digestion and immunity disorders. So again, hard tissue, soft tissue, blood sugar, and digestion and immunity. Those digestion and immunity are tied together because they're the same types of nutrients and tissues that are impacted. So with that, then, we have at our base a product that has the ginger, the turmeric, the muscadine, and the fulvic plant minerals that we combine together into this one product that really is the foundation for health with our program. And so everybody needs to be taking this as a component of what we call the daily health pack. The daily health pack is the products that everybody needs in order to counter the American diet. Now, if you're in one of these other categories of disorders, in other words, you're finding yourself in the blue, which is the hard tissue, or the yellow, which is the soft tissue, the red, which is blood sugar, or the digestion and immunity that is green, then you're going to need to add additional products. But the 3 components of the daily health pack is the GTM, as I mentioned, the Sport and Go nutritional drink, and the daily detox tea. So we've talked about GTM. The next one is the Sport and Go full spectrum hydration drink. This is a powder you just add to water, but again, has these powerful nutrients and components. 1, to replace deficiencies, but 2, to support the body's ability to detoxify, support the body's ability to nutrify and to repair and rebuild itself. We also have the daily detox tea, and this is a gentle tea. This is an anti-inflammatory tea that, again, it's a powder. All you do is add water, but this will calm down the inflammation in the digestive system. It'll calm down the inflammation in your liver and your kidneys. This is a wonderful, wonderful daily clean. You're not going to feel any upset stomach. In fact, it'll be the opposite. It'll soothe an upset stomach. You're not going to need to run to the toilet. This will be just like cleaning the kitchen on a daily basis, keeping everything clean and orderly. We love this product. And so those three, the GTM, the Sport and Go hydration drink, and the daily detox tea. So let's talk for a second about these 4 categories of disease. We're going to start first with blood sugar imbalances. Now, some of you might not realize that when blood sugar is not regulated properly, there's a whole litany of disorders that can occur. Everything on the screen right there and more are linked to blood sugar imbalances. Things like memory loss, migraine headaches, moodiness, narcolepsy, night sweats, hyperactivity, hypoglycemia, infertility, dizziness. I mean, the list goes on and on. These are all health conditions that are correlated to blood sugar not being balanced properly. So how do we balance blood sugar properly? Well, there's literally hundreds of chemical processes that have to occur when we consume something, and the body has to break that down and take constituent nutrients and create the right formula and chemical processes so that blood sugar stays within a healthy range. Because if we're eating something that's high glycemic, that blood sugar is going to tend to rise, isn't it? And the body has to balance that out. If we go for an extended period of time without eating, that blood sugar is going to tend to fall, isn't it? And so the body will then compensate by raising the blood sugar through these chemical processes. If we don't have these cofactor nutrients, and there's over 50 of them that have been identified as cofactor nutrients necessary for all these chemical processes you see on the screen to happen. And so that's one of the way that we support blood sugar is by making sure the body has all of these necessary cofactors in order to do this process effectively. And we have these additional products that help to balance blood sugar, to keep blood sugar from trying to skyrocket or plummet. And these are products that are used, one, because when we can get blood sugar under control, we tend to also burn fat for fuel, and so we lose weight. And so these products will also be considered to be weight loss products because they help to balance blood sugar. And when blood sugar is balanced, the body does not have that insulin response, and therefore you're not pulling all of that blood glucose out and storing it as fat. So these are wonderful products that support and promote healthy blood sugar levels. Next one is hard tissue. And some of you say, well, what is hard tissue? Hard tissue involves the skeleton of the body, the muscular system of the body. It's really the things that give the body structure. And there is one particular muscle in particular that is very susceptible to this, and that is the heart. Okay, so we've got the skeletal system, the muscular system, and the heart that are all linked into this disorder. And you can see that when any of these systems are short on nutrients, when they don't have the cofactors that are necessary to repair and rebuild themselves, then these are the types of health concerns that come from it. Back pain, bone spurs, bone fractures, cartilage and ligament damage, cognitive impairment, depression, Dowager's hump, elevated blood calcium, high and low blood pressure, hyperparathyroidism, insomnia, irritability, joint pain, kidney stones. The list goes on and on. Tinnitus, ringing in the ears, tooth decay, neuralgia, vertigo. These are all health concerns tied to this category. And if we can support and promote healthy skeletal muscular systems, we have all the cofactor nutrients necessary, well, then we don't get these health concerns that are tied to the breakdown and the wear and tear of these systems and tissues. We have to understand that our bones are more than just calcium. Okay, they are also ligaments and tendons. Our joints have cartilage in them. All of these different compounds or these different tissues support one another in maintaining our skeletal structure. When we are short in the nutrients that are necessary to repair and maintain all of these tissues, then other tissues have to compensate. And so you'll hear from somebody that says, yeah, I tore a ligament, and so then as a result I did damage to my cartilage because I was walking funny. All these things are related. Okay, so there's over 60 nutrients needed just to maintain bone. These are not just calcium, magnesium, boron, and strontium, but many, many more. And so, one of the reasons why our packages include these 75 fulvic trace minerals is because we want to make sure that there aren't any of these cofactor nutrients missing. We want to make sure that our bodies are getting all of the nutrients in order to repair and rebuild our bones, our joints, and maintain healthy muscle systems. So we have our products that relate to this, the bone and joint, our extra turmeric, and our relax product. These are all products that support and promote healthy skeletal system, healthy joints, healthy muscles, etc. All right, let's move on to digestion and immunity disorders. This one I find for people is quite surprising. They don't realize that heartburn and dermatitis and bloating and allergies and food sensitivities, yeast infections, thrush, all of these things are linked to digestion. In fact, all immunity disorders where your immune system is compromised, where you have autoimmune type of reactions, these are tied to digestive disorders. And so the question is, well, what can we do? Well, we have to first and foremost bring down the inflammation that's happening in our digestive tract, because that inflammation, as we showed earlier on the screen, causes the intestinal lining to be compromised. You aren't what you eat, you are what you absorb. And you want to absorb certain things and you don't want to absorb others. And so it's important that we maintain healthy villi, healthy intestinal lining. We have to make sure that we maintain healthy gut flora. All of these things play their part in reducing occurrence of digestive disorders, as well as reducing infections, whether they be bacterial or viral. A healthy gut is what keeps us from bringing in so many pathogens from the food that we eat and the water we drink, etc. So we have, first and foremost, our detox tea, which is really designed to help bring down inflammation and promote regeneration and regrowth of the digestive system, also giving the body powerful tools to flush the kidneys and the liver, because they're filters. And if they can't flush themselves, then guess what? They're just going to pass along the pollution. And what we want is the body to be able to, one, I have the intelligence to identify toxins and pathogens, neutralize them, and then the system to be able to eliminate. And that's what the detox tea is designed to do. We also have our lax product, which helps move things along through the digestive system a little bit easier. It's not going to give you diarrhea, but it's just going to smooth that process out, because much of the food we eat is not conducive to a healthy digestive flow. Also, the tea tree. Now, we have a micellized tea tree, which is really, really powerful, because you don't have to worry about it being astringent or painful or burning. This is a water-soluble micellized tea tree. So you can put it right on your skin. You can put it right on a wound. You can put it into your mouth. You can rub it onto your stomach. This is a wonderful, wonderful add-on for boosting immunity throughout the system, because tea tree, as you know, is legendary for fighting all forms of pathogens. And again, the muscadine, in addition to the powerful antioxidant qualities, muscadine is also a prebiotic, meaning that it is a food for the gut biome. And so the healthy gut bacteria, the bacteria we want in our gut, they feed on parts of the muscadine. So again, this is a powerful product that can be added to help support the natural gut biome. All right. Now, soft tissues. This is another one that people get surprised because they don't realize that skin, the cardiovascular system, the nervous system, the lungs, the brain, they all fall into this category. And if we support this category, we can overcome a whole list of chronic illnesses. You look on that list there: growth retardation, gallstones, fibromyalgia, low libido, PMS, psoriasis, kidney dysfunction, eczema, dementia, dermatitis, cracked heels, asthma. All of these things are soft tissue disorders. And if you support the body's ability to maintain these soft tissues in the body, then you will get an improvement because you can overcome those health conditions. We have to remember that the cell membranes of every cell in our body is maintained by these lipid fats. They're maintained by a lipid bilayer. And them having those compounds and those nutrients in them is required in order for them to regulate what's going in and what's going out of the cell. In order for the mitochondria to create energy and that ATP then to be able to pass through the cell membrane so that the body can utilize that energy, we have to maintain these cell membranes. And what are these cell membranes made of? What is a lipid bilayer? These are made up of fats, healthy fats, essential fatty acids, and cholesterol, the things you get from eggs, the things that are repaired by selenium and antioxidants. Soft tissues, one, need the oils and the fats, but two, they need the antioxidants to preserve them. And so that's the key here. We have a number of products, EFA product, our muscadine seed oil, and our Delo cream, designed to support and promote healthy soft tissues. Also, if you look at our shake and our Java, these products are increasing the consumption of healthy fats, MCTs, coconut oils, whole cream. These are all fats that are very, very good for the body and helping to maintain and repair these soft tissues. So, as I mentioned, categories 4: hard tissue, soft tissue, blood sugar, digestion, and immunity. At the core is the daily health pack. Everybody needs that every day. That's for everyone. But then if you're suffering in one of these other categories, if you saw a health condition that you or a family member are concerned about on those slides we went through, then you should add products from those categories to the daily health pack to make sure you're getting everything you need every single day. So let's just do some basic do's and don'ts as far as lifestyle and diet. We should consume natural whole foods wherever possible. Green leafy vegetables, our body loves the many, many nutrients we get from those greens. High antioxidant auric foods, okay? These are foods that have a high antioxidant score. High protein, fat meals and snacks, and plenty of water. We should avoid margarine. We should cook with butter instead. We should avoid carbonated drinks, especially at meal times. Avoid fried foods, especially if you're using vegetable oils, like canola oils or anything that's been hydrogenated. Avoid processed meats with nitrates and nitrites. Avoid processed sugars, pesticides, and pollution. We need to avoid these things because they counteract all the positive that we're doing with our choices in our diet. And so those are the things that we need to avoid. And then few principles. Make sure that whenever possible, we take our supplements with our food. Our body gets ready to digest. It smells, it sees food, starts producing saliva, starts producing enzymes, starts producing stomach acid. The body gets ready to break down and pull nutrients out of the food. Well, that's a great time to sneak in those supplements to get the highest amount of absorption out of them. Also, we need to make sure we're taking adequate amounts of nutrients. Every body is different depending on its size. You know that when you go buy food for your pets, right? You have small breed, medium breed, large breed. Well, you need to supplement yourself accordingly. Every one of our products is dosed on the bottle according to average body weight of about 120 pounds. So if you are 220 pounds, you might want to double the dosage. I do. If you are 50 pounds, you want to cut the dosage in half. So That's the kind of the model for it. We don't tell you, oh, if you're this weight, take this or this. It's dosed for 120 to 150 pounds as an average adult body weight, and then we adjust accordingly. The other is, the last point is to make sure you're absorbing. If you're seeing results, that means your body's getting the nutrients and it's going to work. If you're not seeing results, we need to talk. Either you're not getting enough of the product, your inflammation is such that you're having more difficulty digesting, and so we got to work on a few things to increase your absorption. But the products work because they are natural nutrients. When you give your body the raw materials, the body can do amazing things. Now, again, Top Shelf is not trying to diagnose, prescribe, or treat any diseases. So we invite you to do this in collaboration with your physician. And we're really, the philosophy here is to support the body's natural ability to heal, maintain, and repair itself. The program at Top Shelf Nutra is designed to get you the highest quality nutrients at the lowest price. We've taken the concepts of like a membership buyers club, like a Sam's or a Costco, and combined it with a club membership like an Amazon Prime, and created Top Shelf Nutra for nutrition. So you're getting the highest quality, lowest price, and you never pay shipping. It all just is available to you at the price that you see, which is below that what they've ever been offered, 40 and 50% less than anything's ever been offered in the marketplace before. And we do that because of our co-op buying power, coming together as members of this club and buying our nutrients together. Again, as a repeat, best prices, highest quality, free shipping, but we add to it the opportunity of growing this family of co-op members by sharing it with people we know. So you don't have that at Costco or at Sam's Club or at Amazon, but you do have it at Top Shelf. You can tell people about this. You can share it with them, and they will join, get the same benefits you do with their membership. And as a thank you, we're going to send you $5 in discount credits. We call them PDC, product discount credits. We just put them in your account every month that someone you refer is part of the program. And so as we build this group, everybody's developing, not only getting the lowest prices, but getting them even less as they refer their friends and family and receive these product discount credits as well. So how do you join? Well, it's a $14.95 monthly membership fee, and that gives you all the benefits we talked about, these amazing wholesale pricing, the ability to order what you want when you want it and never pay shipping, no minimums or quotas, and the ability to let other people know about it and receive product discount credits. Now, if you want to save even more, you can do the annual membership where you're automatically going to receive 30 product discount credits in your account. Basically, it's 2 months of membership for free. So with that, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video and be here with us this morning. I hope you've enjoyed learning about Top Shelf Nutra, and we welcome you to our amazing Top Shelf Nutra family. With that, I will stop the recording